All right, we're back one more time. This is the last Kansas deer that we got. This is a Kansas bow kill. Beautiful deer. I mean, I've got a lot of points. I think I counted up 13 scoreable points real quick on it. I'm telling you, I'm impressed with it. So, again, get your tape measure. All right, you want to get your straight edge for your tine measurements. You want to get your, Mason's rule for the inside spread. You want to get your cable for your main beams, and then of course you got something to do your circumference measurements, as well as one that I like to do my straight point, like my time measurements with. So let's get started. I'm gonna start making some marks on this deer, and we're gonna get going. Boy, this is a pretty deer. I'm gonna show y'all real quick on here how these. I know the one on the right, P1, the brow tine on the right. I'm gonna do it on the backside, because it kind of flares towards the back end, and you want to follow the curve of the rack. Let me look at this one. This one here doesn't, it's 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other, I believe. Let me look, make sure, because you really want to make sure. I think it's going to score better off the front, to be honest with you, and I'll show you that as well. The one on the left is going to score better off the front, so while I'm looking at it, I'm going to go ahead and make my mark on it. Hope you guys have had a good week. I'm recording this one. Man, it's a beautiful Saturday, but I have spent it inside. I have been working on YouTube videos, and then I do the emceeing for a bass trail here in Louisiana Team Trail. So I had to do a video for that, and now I'm going to work on this one because I'm going squirrel hunting after church tomorrow. I want to have all this taken care of before I get that done. Y'all see me erasing my mark because it wasn't a good mark. It wasn't. I looked as soon as I made it. I've said it before. The P2 is the hardest one for me to make sure that I get it right because of that sweep in the rack. Yeah, I like that. That sweep that P makes on that main beam coming down as it makes that curve, that corner, sometimes can play a trick on you and make it hard. So if you're scoring at the house, be extra careful and mindful of that P measurement. This deer's got 2 irregular points on the left-hand side. On the 2 right here, I don't know if you can see that very good. Let me get down on my shirt. Maybe 2 and the 3. 1 goes to the inside. I'm gonna make my mark on it right now, and the other goes to the outside. Characteristics on these animals, like I said in the last video, or one of the previous videos, they're never the same. Whitetails are always different. All right, I like that. Hold on. Make it a little bit more. There we go. Now I can see it. Deer season's finally come to a close here in North Louisiana. Or it will. Today's supposed to be the last day, but they gave us 2 extra days because we had some ice. Some snow down south. We didn't even get no snow up here. They still gave Area 2 some extra days. All right, well, that looks good. All right, so I've got that done. Got my score sheet here. Y'all take a look at your score sheet. You'll see on the left-hand side, I have the irregular points listed, and I don't on the right-hand side. So I'm gonna hold that up. Usually I take a picture of it, but I didn't this time. So I'm just gonna show that to you. I'll take a look. See how I've got the irregulars, and then I don't on the other side. So that's how we're gonna do that. Let's rock and roll, baby. Let's get it going. Y'all been squirrel hunting any? I tell you what, I was raised squirrel hunting. I absolutely love to squirrel hunt. This year, I got into it more with 22s. And me and my buddy, we have access to some property that you can't get to other than floating down the creek in a boat. So we get in a boat, float down the creek, get to it, and man, we had a blast shooting those squirrels this year. Got enough for a good squirrel mulligan, but man, I tell you what, if you ain't never been with a dog, you need to go at least one time, especially a young person. Get a young person involved, squirrel hunting with a dog. My goodness gracious, you talking about fun. You talking about fun. I used to have one, a dog, I say. He got 2 kids, used to have a dog. She was mean. God almighty knows that dog was mean. But son, she was a squirrel hunting fool. Didn't bark though. Didn't bark. So I had to follow her and make sure I knew where she was going. Daddy told me to put a bell on her, but she was so rough. Them old bells, they just wouldn't make it. So I would take her out, and I called her, named her Georgia, and man, she was a good dog. But one time I took her out right after work, and I just grabbed a wad of shotgun shells off the dresser and took off behind the house. Boy, she treed one, and that rascal cut loose on that tree. He went to timber and crawl. He went straight up above me, and I had that old 870, and I shucked it, and I come right, I was straight up and down. And that next one in that 870 wasn't no number 6 high brass, okay? It was a daggum turkey load, and it liked to put me in the floor. I'm telling you, that was a little bit too much, a little bit more than what I was expecting. And that darn turkey load, if you never shot a turkey load straight up in the air, you ain't lived. Let me get this thing. Golly, this thing is massive. I hope it don't mess up my focus, but I feel like it will. Let's see what the main beam on the right-hand side comes to. It felt like it was long. Let's see. I've got it cranked open to 25 inches. It's going to be pretty close. Looks like it's going to be 24 and 7/8 on the right-hand side. Main beam, 24 and 7/8. All right. Let's go to getting this first time measurement here on the right-hand side. Again, remember I did this one on the back. And the reason is I was following the curvature of the rack itself. So let's see. This one right here is going to be 4 and 1/8 on the P1. 4 and 1/8. This next one, 9 and 0/8. Let's see what this next one here comes up to. 10 and 1/8. That's a good one. 10 and 1/8 on the P3. The P3, yeah, 10 and 1/8. And now this one, it kind of curves at the top, this one here. Gotta give it an extra little bit. 7 and 0/8. 7 and 0/8. All those lengths were good. 4 and an 8. 9 and 0/8. 10 and 1/8. 7 and 0/8. Man, that's impressive. Let's get some circumference measurement. Compared to the last deer I did, this and circumference measurements aren't as good, but where it ain't as good on that, well, shoot, I'll say it ain't good. Look at here. There you go. Let me get over here where I can see something. So we're going for the smallest spot. Right there. Come on now. What was that smallest spot? 4 and 7/8. Yeah. And that ain't bad. C1 on the right-hand side, 4 and 7/8. Let's see what we got for the 2. 4 and 0/8. 4 and 0/8. 4 and 0/8. Looks good. 4 and 0/8. To right side. C2. Let's see what this 3 looks like. 4 and 0/8. 3 and 7/8. 3 and 7/8 right there. 3 and 7/8. And then the last one. 3 and 6/8. 3 and 6/8. Not bad, actually. Circumference measurement looked good. Man, it looks good. Let's get the left side. Let's go start on the left side right now. How about it? So I got another squirrel hunting with a dog story. The boy I go hunting with, name is Joe. And there's a chemical plant where we live, or pretty close where we live, where our families have always worked. Me and Joe's dad worked together. Our grandfathers worked together. I mean, it was just, and had it not exploded in 1991, that's probably where Joe would have went to work. But Joe's daddy got killed in that explosion. And Joe's and Mr. Ronnie's best friend in the whole wide world was my Uncle Lucian. Now, the story I'm telling you was when Lucian used to drink. He don't drink no more. He quit drinking. But he used to love a certain brand of beer that's very inexpensive and has mountains on it. That's all I want to say. I don't want to mess up nobody. But anyhow, and one morning we met Uncle Lucian at Joe's property where his daddy used to live. Beautiful squirrel wood. I'm talking about 7 o'clock in the morning. And we sitting here and we meet Luke. And he gets on his squirrel bag. That gum, the old back end of it was already pooched out. I said, Unc, you done shot some? He said, no. These is for later. He done had about five or six cans in the back end of that squirrel pouch. He said, y'all gonna be doing the shooting. And sure enough, we hunted left side main beam. 22 and 5/8. 22 and 5/8. I had to look hard to see that one. So we hunted and he drank. 22 and 5/8. And sure enough, we was walking along there and we shot. Now there's a beautiful creek runs right through the middle of this property. And you know how creeks will go, and then sometimes they'll make a big, like a pool, you know what I'm saying? And a big round hole. And man, there was a squirrel up there, and Joe was on one side of the creek, I was on the other, and he shot and it fell. You know, it's something. And so we kind of wrote that one off. First point on the left-hand side is 3 7/8. P1, left-hand side, 3 7/8. So we kind of wrote that one off. As we began to walk off, Uncle Luke said, where y'all going? I said, well, that one's done. He said, no. Ronnie Booth would have gone in there and got it. So Joe, the second point on the left-hand side, 9 4/8. 9 4/8. So Joe looked at me, I looked at him, I reached over and I got my hand, I hooked it around a little old tree right here and I stretched out far as I could. And Joe held on, and I held on to his pants waist and hung him out there, and he leaned out there with a stick, and he eventually fished that squirrel out of that creek. And we went on hunting. That's the first time I ever got introduced to a toothache tree as well. Y'all know about any of y'all know about a toothache tree? Third point, left-hand side, 9 4/8. How about that? Oh, let me check that. Yeah, it's over that 3/8 inch mark. 9 4/8. I got a little bad spot on my paper where I'm trying to write. Let's move on to the P4 on this side. P4 says 6 3/8. And now the P5, which is not very big, barely made an inch. We're looking at 1 1/8. 1 1/8 inch. I thought I made that measure. I don't guess I did. I mean that mark. I mean, look, I may have made it on the inside, and I shouldn't have. It's an outside measurement. What I thought. I made that other one. But those are some good times squirrel hunting. Some real good times squirrel hunting with a dog. Irregular point. First irregular point on the left side of the rack is the only place where we have irregular measurements, and I'm going to have to do this one down here, y'all. I apologize. 1 inch and 6/8. 1 6/8 on the first one. And on the second one, turn this one all the way around if I can see it. And 1 5/8. 1 5/8. All right, let's do some C measurements. Some circumference measurements on this left-hand side. Again, I guess because I fooled with that other deer so much, I was kind of fooled by the circumference measurements on the right-hand side. Let's see if the left-hand side is just as impressive. I believe they are. Oh, shoot there. 4 7/8. Ooh, here we go. Now we're getting that. 4 5. 4 come on, what is it? 4 5, 4 6. 4 6 there. Yeah, 4 6/8, I believe, is going to be. Nope. Yeah, 4 6/8. 4 6/8, C1. C2. 4 0/8. Yeah, 4 0/8. Yep, it'll be 4 0/8. Let's check C3. Three 7/8. And if it's like this last one, this one here will be 3 6/8. Let's see. Nope, 3 5/8. Yeah, 3 5/8. Let's see what the inside spread is on this good old boy from Kansas. We're going to go parallel to the skull, straight across. We aren't going to angle it. We aren't going to do anything. We're going to make it like it's supposed to be. What y'all think it is? I forgot. What y'all think it is? I like to do that. I mean, we got some tall points, man. We got this one right here is 10 inches, 10 1/8. These two right here are 9 4/8. I mean, they aren't bad at all. So you got a good idea of what we're looking at. Let's see. Let's see what the inside spread comes out to. Let me square it up with the camera so y'all get. There we go. $13, 15 5/8. Yeah, 15 and whoop. Yeah, 15 5/8. 15 5/8. All right, I'm gonna add these up. Y'all hold tight. All right, let's talk about this deer now. This is a Kansas Bow Kill, beautiful deer, but this is where I don't make many friends sometimes. In fact, I scored a friend of mine's deer, came up with almost this exact situation, and I thought I was going to have to fight my way out of that camp. Okay? So, you'll see when I give you the roast score, okay? The BTR score. The left side main beam is impressive, 22 5/8. The longest tine on the left side, which is right here, these right here, P2 and 3, which is 9 4/8 inch, respectively, both of them. Then we got the irregular points. Let's see, 1 1/8, 1 6/8, 1 5/8. Circumference measurements weren't too bad. 2 of them over 4 inches and 2 of them over 3 inches. Right side main beam, 24 7/8 inch right side main beam. That's really strong. Got a 9 0/8 point here, 10 1/8 here, 7 0/8 here. Again, circumference measurements, same as what was on the left. 2 over 4, 2 over 3. The left side. The total inches of antler on the left side, 72 5/8. Total of inches on the right side, 71 5/8. The inside spread is 15 5/8. So when you combine those three scores, the left side, the right side, and the inside spread, well, let's just do the left side and right side. Okay, for the official Buckmasters, it's 144 2/8 without the inside spread. Total inches of antler, 144 2/8. You add in that 15 5/8 inch, 159 7/8. Now you see why I had to almost had to fight my way out of that camp. This deer's, by my score, 1 inch away, I mean, 1/8 of an inch away from 160 inch gross, or BTR. Now, you could get another score. They could come in and get that 160, or you could get another score and they could come in and it'd be down in about in the low 159, maybe 158. And the main difference is in the main beams. Where people get most of the differences come from is the main beams, because it's so long. So, great deer nonetheless. Absolutely love it. That's a great deer. That's a bow kill out of Kansas. Man, I'm proud to have it. We're going to go to a different state next week. I don't know which state, but I know Jason's got some. We're going to go in search of some. Want to thank Jason Humble, Final Feeding Taxidermy. Thank you, brother. Couldn't have done these last few without you. My name is Greg Hicks. This is the Antlers and Hicks podcast. And as always, I'm going to encourage you guys to live your life past 20 yards. We'll see y'all next week.